Welcome back from the dramatic showcase at Emirates yesterday that saw Arsenal leaving it late with the Reiss Nelson strike. But amidst everything that happened, there is some good and bad news in the camp of Arsenal. Worry about Trossard injury is really bubbling around Emirates, Emily Smith Rowe. Then Arteta is talking about Reiss Nelson and how he found himself shooting at goal, and it resulted into the winner for the team of Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, around the 29th minute, we saw Trossard go down after colliding with a certain player of Bournemouth, and he was really taken off the field of play. And Emily Smith Rowe came in and played until the 7th minute, and then they brought on Reiss Nelson, who really won the game by creating one and scoring one to give Arsenal a 3-2 win against Bournemouth. But very many Arsenal fans have not yet put this into account. That's what is worrying me. I've not seen any channel do this story, yet it's really so much important for you to be knowing what's happening to Trossard. You saw him walk off the field of play and no follow-up has been made, and I said my second story of the day should be about Trossard. He's a player that had transformed that forward line of Arsenal alongside Gabriel Martinelli, and obviously he's off, and as it stands, looks like Arsenal are not having any certified number 9. Nketiah is injured, Jesus is on his way to return, and obviously Trossard is really injured. Then Mikel Arteta was asked about the Trossard situation, and this is what he had to say. It's a worry. He came to me straight away and told me he could not continue playing because he had felt something when he was tracking back after the corner. He had to assess. We have to assess him and see how he is, and this assessment takes 24 days. Now, what does this mean to the team of Arsenal? You know, he was a reinforcement to the squad of Arsenal, and he has found himself injured. You get? It's a huge injury blow for me, and sorry for Arsenal and those who love players who are really talented to be on the field of play. I love Trossard, and I love a player like him to be on the field of play. Look at how he had gone to transform Arsenal. Ever since he came in through, he has played close to 6 games, I think, 6-7 games for Arsenal, but he has a goal and 2 assists. 7 games, 3 goal involvements. That is Trossard, and you wouldn't like to be losing a player of the quality of Trossard. Why? Losing Trossard might force Mikel Arteta to hurriedly bring back Gabriel Jesus to play for Arsenal, something that you wouldn't like to happen. Why? You would love Jesus to heal fully, maybe launch him in the game of Fulham or Crystal Palace, depending on how the shade of the manager is, but there is no way Arteta is going to be seated there without a centre forward and say, all right, let me rely on Martinelli. I don't see that happening. But I believe it's really shocking to Arsenal fans, and Mikel Arteta is really asking himself what he's going to do. But God loves Arsenal. You never know. Jesus might find himself back, as the manager told us a hint on his return, that in 7-10 days they're going to see whether he's going to have fully returned, and I think no reason to hurry him back. On Thursday, though, he'll be fully fit to play, as Charles Schwartz has reported to us that he was among the players that really warmed up yesterday at Emirates. So it shows you that he's really on his way back. And you never know, he might find himself onto the match squad that is traveling to Portugal, or the one that will be traveling to London to play against Fulham. But Trossard, it is worrying. You know, losing Nketiah, then Trossard, it's not the news we'd love to hear after that incredible win or incredible comeback against Bournemouth at the Emirates. Now, we've also been told by Arteta that he felt something in his groin when he was tracking back in the first half. He had to come off. It looks like something muscular. So if it's muscular, it's not all that serious, according to me. I've seen players with muscular injuries return in a very, very short time of period possible, and I believe Trossard is not going to take long to return. But even hurrying him is another problem, because you hurry him back, he gets a setback. Obviously, the one to blame. That's why he does not want to really force players like Jesus back on the field of play. And that is the moment when Trossard was talking to the doctor that I'm not feeling okay and I want to walk out of the pitch. And Emile Smith-Rowe really came on and did the job and provided an assist for Thomas Partey for the first goal of Arsenal. Trossard, sorry about that, injured, and we are waiting for an assessment. And I think by Monday, we would have known how long he's going to be sidelined without playing for Arsenal. But in this scenario, all type of a season where you are 5 points ahead of City, you wouldn't like to be having an injury. You wouldn't like to be having an injury like that with Trossard. I know there are some people who have not yet understood the role of Trossard, Jorginho, to the club of Arsenal, but very soon you'll get to know it when he's injured. When you look at the bench, even if Jesus is available, when you look at the bench and not having someone to bring in, then you will know that this player is really important for the club of Arsenal. Now, after Leandro Trossard, Emile Smith-Rowe came in for him, and he was also taken off around the 70th minute. And Mikel Arteta has also gone ahead to react to that change that he made. And this is what he had to say when he was asked whether Emile Smith-Rowe's substitution was planned. He said, I felt we needed something else, especially on the left, because we were lacking a threat and attacking more players to that side. That's why we made the decision to bring on Reiss Nelson. So the first reason that's why Reiss Nelson was brought on is that they needed a player who was comfortable on the ball with a different technique altogether that can really send the opponent's defenders onto the wrong side with his jinking feet. And obviously on twice he got the ball. One was an assist, the other was a shot on target. Then on Emile Smith-Rowe again, he said about Emile Smith-Rowe that we didn't plan to throw him in early the game. We knew it was difficult for him to last for 70 minutes on the field after missing almost 5 months of football. I think he had a good impact in the game and at the end. Obviously, to me, I believe Emile Smith-Rowe is one of those players that deserves to be given his props and flowers, but Arsenal fans are not giving him his props and flowers. I've seen very many react to that game, but they're not respecting him. The most important game that Arsenal scores is that of Thomas Partey that brought Arsenal back in the game. You get? And who created that chance? It is Emile Smith-Rowe. When the manager says that he had a very huge impact on the game, he's not lying. He's benchmarking on facts that this player came on for Leandro Trossard, who got himself injured and played well and put himself in the position of creating an assist for Arsenal for that Thomas Partey goal. And for a player who has not been playing for 5 months, I think you shouldn't judge even him a lot, because he's so much at the level of looking for match fitness. He's not match fit, and the manager's just trying to get him on to see to it that he becomes match fit. And he got him off because he felt like he couldn't play 70 minutes. He couldn't play 70 minutes because he came on through towards the 30th minute when Trossard was injured. And that's what Arteta is confirming to us. And he's right, because you have to really manage these players well. If you are a manager and you know what managing players is all about, you have to manage these players well. And they put him on the bench because they knew he would come on through in the 70th minute. I think the plan of Mikel Arteta was simple. He knew that this game was going to be killed off early enough, and then he will bring on other players to come in and play. I had even predicted that Jakub Kiwior would have gotten his debut for Arsenal in this game, but obviously he found himself in a position of not being able to bring him on because Bournemouth shocked Arsenal in the first minute of the game, and Arsenal conceded. The Arsenal players were totally shocked, and it took them close to 60 minutes to really get themselves relieved from the shock, and that is what Arsenal was all about. And we are talking a little bit of Mikel Arteta and Reiss Nelson again. Now let's go to the Reiss Nelson shot and what Mikel Arteta had to say about it. Arteta was asked on if he wanted Reiss Nelson to shoot. He said, "I don't know. In training, if we told him 50 times to put it there, I don't know if he would score, but he did it in the perfect moment for the team, for himself. He really deserves that moment, the kid." And obviously, he was the poster boy of the day, that is Reiss Nelson. And he does it in a style that is really unseen before. Coming in through, putting in a cutback or squaring that ball to Ben White, and Ben White gets a tap in to level the game. And the winner he scores. I was seated here planning to do the match reaction, and I was trying to really design the graphics because it's me who does everything. It's me who designs the graphics. A lot of work. And towards because when they added 6 minutes, I said, all right, let me sit here and see what happens. It reached the 96th minute and Arsenal got a corner. I thought that maybe yes or not, a goal might go in, but I was not really giving a lot of attention to detail. But I was putting my eyes onto my laptop screen as I designed my stuff, and I had turned on the volume of my TV, and I had the commentator tone of commentating change when Reiss Nelson really got hold of that ball outside the 18-yard box area, and I heard him say that this might be the moment of truth. Oh, I turned. No sooner had I turned than Reiss Nelson hit that ball into the back of the net, and the entire stadium ran into a mad vibe. The vibe was mad. And he's even telling you that I'm referring to Mikel Arteta, that if he was asked for a player to shoot a ball in that position to go into the back of the net in the dying minutes, he believes Reiss Nelson isn't amongst those. He would call for players like Zinchenko, Emile Smith-Rowe, Trossard, Odegaard, Xhaka as good hitters of the ball. But this one, amongst all those available, he proved that anytime Arsenal needs him, is going to be available. And the problem is, injuries have been always a problem for him. Having come in through and really scored the brace against Nottingham and really created one goal in that game. He was given a game in the Carabao Cup where they're knocked out. He went ahead to make an assist for Eddie Nketiah, though Arsenal were knocked out by 3-1. So, injuries have been part of his game, and he's having his contract running down, and Mikel Arteta is finding himself in the same situation that he was into last summer when the season came to an end, when Eddie Nketiah's contract was running down and El Nini's contract were running down, and they had played well in the last 7 games of the season. Nketiah scored like 5 out of those 7 games, and he put himself in a position of really giving him a new contract. Now, for Reiss Nelson, I don't know how the situation is going to be with Mikel Arteta. Is he planning to reward him with a new contract or not? I remember Ilkay Gundogan, Man City had agreed to part ways with him. Ilkay Gundogan wanted to stay. Man City wanted him to go. Now, guess what happened? After scoring those 2 goals on the final day of the Premier League that helped City win the league, they came out and told him, we are keeping you and rewarding you for what you've done. I think Reiss Nelson's work yesterday should be rewarded with a huge contract. But if you're Reiss Nelson, do you put pen to paper to that contract when you're not being played game in, game out? Or you put pen to paper to that contract and you allow a loan from Arsenal to another team? Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed to us that there are very many Premier League teams that are really keeping an eye on Reiss Nelson, and with that performance, he has put himself in the shop window, and I think offers are really going to be coming in like rain, according to me. So guys, what are your thoughts on Trossard injury, Emile Smith-Rowe, Update, don't get worried, guys. He's not injured. The manager just took him off because he thought that he had spent 5 months without knocking his leg on the ball. So it was ridiculous of him to keep Emily Smith on the pitch, on the field of play, to play close to 70 minutes in his legs into that fixture. So your thoughts about that are welcome. And Reiss Nelson, what are your thoughts about him? Should he put pen to paper on the new contract, or he goes out of Arsenal? And should Arsenal offer him a new contract? Yes or no? Rokani David is my name. Second video of the day. I sign out for now. See you later, my lovelies.